Hey podcaster, I'm Tim Wahlberg, your podcast performance coach, with another actionable tip so you can grow your authority and convert with ease. Today's tip is schedule a better performance. Have you ever banged out a podcast episode? I'm just going to bang out a podcast episode. Honey, I'll be right with you. I'm just going to bang out a podcast episode. Well, let me break it to you. Banging out an episode is never going to serve you or your audience. The time you schedule to record your episode is way more important than you think. Whether you've been at it for a while or you're new to podcasting, make this a bigger consideration. How many times when you're recording an episode are you competing with other things? Family, household noise, neighbors, deadlines, meetings, appointments, the clock itself. If you're not recording at an optimal time, your performance is going to suffer. You won't be present and you'll be distracted. So getting it done becomes a priority over the content and your performance. And now I'm not talking about good enough versus perfection here. We all know that if you're trying for perfect, you'll never get anything done. I'm talking about things that are getting in your way of putting together an amazing episode. I was listening to a client's episode recently and it blew me away. It sounded so much better than her previous handful of shows. I mean, she sounded happy, energized, confident, and she had swagger, and it was oozing out of her. And I asked her, what was it? She said she changed her recording schedule. It was one of the variables we adjusted to make her show more efficient, so it took less time. She was always trying to squeeze it in between other things, and it worked. And there is one other thing that helped bring the swagger to her show, which I'll share with you in a second, but here are the things you should consider when scheduling a better podcast performance. Know when your energy is best. Record then. I'm a morning person. I record in the morning, definitely before 1 p.m. and never after eating, because I'm sluggish and I'm sleepy after eating, and then come 3 o'clock, I'm useless. So it's mornings for me, period. Are you scheduling recording your show in the middle of your workday? Some of you record at the office. When are the quiet times? Can you get it done before anyone else shows up? You planning to record right after a meeting or up against another Zoom call is going to put more pressure on you to just get it done or to bang it out. Honey, I'm just going to bang that podcast out. Don't bang it out. Don't do that. Create the buffer time you need if during work hours is the only time that you can record, because you'll be thinking about that meeting or your upcoming call instead of being focused on your show. You won't be present and you won't be focused on your listener and or your guest. Are you competing with traffic noise and other things out of your control that is going to make the recording process frustrating, like someone making dinner when you're trying to record, or the kids playing, or your neighbors having a barbecue, or someone rebuilding their hot rod or motorcycle? Battling these elements while trying to focus on your show is nearly impossible with all the starting and stopping and the distractions. A husband and wife podcast team I know book their grandparents to babysit once a week so they record without distractions. And it made a huge difference for them. They also have a really cool on-air light on their home office door. And when it's on, it's quiet time and no one can enter. I'll link to a couple of these signs in my show notes. They're only around $30. So when it comes to recording your podcast episodes, pick a time when you are at your best and not full of poutine. Pick a time when there are limited distractions. Schedule buffer time. Make sure everyone knows it's your time to record and they're not to interrupt you. Having a positive mindset going into your recording is huge too. I try to focus on the people I'm helping with my show, and that usually gives me the boost I need. And one last thing to consider. Bulk recording. It might be easier for you to get your head in the game and keep it there for an entire day once a month versus trying to find time to bang it out every week. Honey, I'll be right with you. I'm just going to bang this podcast episode out. So you may consider bulk recording. Podcasting shouldn't be this annoying chore that needs to get done, especially when you're podcasting for your business. Given the proper attention, It can be one of your most powerful marketing and authority building tools you have. So give it the reverence your show deserves. And I hope that's just the tip you need. Oh yeah, and back to that client of mine who showed up with all that swagger that episode. Along with finding her optimal time to record, we worked together on her podcast intent. So she showed up knowing exactly who she was talking to, what she needed to say, and why she was saying it. Total clarity and no more guessing. Clarity brings confidence, aka swagger. This came about as a result of working with me and my podcast tune-up program. So, if you'd like to learn more and add some swagger to your podcast, book your free 15-minute coaching call, and I'll tell you how it works. Book your free 15-minute coaching call at podcastperformancecoach.com. I'm Tim Wahlberg. See ya!